Hand to hand, no less.
Yep. Jeez. This is what D&D Monk wishes it could be.
Yeah, 2024 it is.
It's closer.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Justin, and we are back with Mushoku Tensei Season 1, Second Core, Episode 10, so 21.
Sounds about right.
3 from the end.
Gee, we're getting there.
Well, I mean, plan is to finish it today, so...
Yeah.
How about you go and remind us what happened last time?
Last time was the resolution to the capture of Rudy by Pax? Or Paxton, one of the two.
No, his name was Pax.
Okay. Yeah. It ended up being that he has a massive fan because of the sculpture that he made of Roxy and the one of Rudyard by one of the princes who was Pax's older brother. It was also revealed that the sculpture is, you can remove the robe and it just looks different underneath, which is kind of fun, kind of cool. But between Eris and the Rudyard coming to rescue him and his brother, who is apparently just strong enough to rip heads off.
Well, it's more of his brother. Rudyard went and rescued the people who were being held hostage.
Correct. But between that rescue and then his brother, Pax's brother, taking him and his brother being strong enough to rip heads off, everybody was rescued, and it ends up being revealed at the end that Rudy's sister, at one point or the whole time, knew it was him. But when he wasn't saying it, he got back the prize gift that was in the box, aka the underwear of Roxy, and separate directions were traveled. However, we're going into Turning Point in Part 2, which means shit's probably going to hit the fan.
Yeah. I mean, that's about it. Unless you want to go back over what you thought was going to happen in this episode.
I think it's to do with the guy that we saw with the interacting with dragons.
All right. Just interacting with is, I guess, the vaguest way you could put that.
Well, because that's what we saw. I think he's gonna show control or exert control over them and like rain death upon cities.
Yeah, I mean that's what you said last time. It just doesn't seem like he has control over dragons. Memory based, it looks like he just intimidates dragons.
Yes, but I think I want to see them do something cool with him, and I think that would be a cool thing to do.
Sure. I mean, feels like the wrong anime, but sure. Feels like a once in the season sort of thing, and we've already done it once.
I think it could be setting up season 2, that's why.
Right, but that would feel like something we would do at the end of the season, not 3 episodes before it.
Fair enough.
Alright, well, I mean, I guess without anything else, let's go ahead and hop on into it.
Let's do it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
Uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
it's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
there's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
物事ってのは唐突に起きるものだ。唐突に親が死ぬこともある。唐突に兄弟がぶん殴ってくることもある。唐突にトラックが突っ込んでくることもある。唐突に異世界に転生することもある。唐突に父親に襲いかかられてお嬢様の家庭教師をさせられることもあれば、別の大陸にいきなり飛ばされることもある。そして唐突に人が死ぬということもある。
Drama.
Well, I mean, you saw Rudyard was on the ground. So the threat is already above Rudyard. Also, Rudy's bleeding from the gut. and the mouth.
And it did kind of look like the guy on the mountain.
I mean, have you forgotten what your character's drawn as?
Absolutely, I have.
Unfortunately, I just forgot what folder I put all this shit in. Oh, character art, there we go. But obviously that's for the future, evidently, considering
Yeah.
we're not dead.
We're not dead yet.
Dragons.
If I called this correctly, that I would be impressed.
I mean, I am a massive gaslighter.
You are. You are. But for most of the time for positive.
Except for all those women I'm catfishing.
Well, that's what I said most of the time. Just quit telling them that you're Brad Pitt.
So the episode starts showing how they've all gotten their ass kicked. And
Yep.
then we go into the episode proper, showing how good everyone is at fighting.
Yep.
エリス、
何？
お前は今日から戦士と名乗っていい。
それって
一人前だ。
でもまだルイゼルドに勝ったことないじゃない。
問題ない。お前はすでに戦士として申し分ない力を持っている。
エリス、おめでとうございます。ルーデウス、夢じゃないかしら。ちょっとつねってみて。
つねっても殴りませんか？
殴らないわよ。
Because it was a pervert's pinch.
Yep.
失礼。でも夢じゃないですよ。夢ならこんなに痛くないはず。
そう。戦士。
だがうぬぼれるな。もう子供扱いはしないという意味だ。わかってるな。
はい。
Bonuses and negatives.
Yep. Oh, this area don't look fun.
Yeah, it looks like Saruman could start a shout. That's a real problem.
Uh-huh.
You know, from your favorite book,
言うな。
Exactly.
Lord of the Da Vinci.
思いますよ。赤竜はとてつもなく強いと聞いてます。
Angels and Rings?
なおかつ群れをなす種族らしいですから。ねえ、ルイジェルドさん。
ああ、
そうなの？
おそらく海の七大列強でも道半ばで引き返すことになるだろう。
七大列強って聖剣街道で見たあの
Haven't talked about those in a while.
True.
そんなに強い人たちでも赤竜を相手にするのは簡単ではないんですね。
一匹ならともかく、あんなのの群れを相手にできるのは七大列強の上位陣ぐらいだろう。
へえ、そうなんですね。確か今の序列だと
So dragons scary. Got it.
2位が竜神とかでしたっけ？世の中には強い人がいるんですね。
We've seen nothing about Technique God.
どうしたんですか？
Yep.
The place we saw Rujar get bodied was in the snow.
Yep. And it's a puppy. That's ominous.
Rudeus 絶対に動くな。エリスもだ。
All our stuff.
その声、ルイジェルド・スペルディアか。
Oh, snap.
そっちはエリス・ボレアス・グレイラットだな。お前は知らない顔だな。貴様は何者だ。なぜ俺の名前を知っている。
なんで私の名前も知ってるのよ。
How come you don't know
奇
mine?
妙なところであったが、まあいい。
いいの？
今の時点では仕方がない。邪魔したな。
待ってください。
Oh.
なんだお前は。
どうも、ルーデウス・グレイラットです。
グレイラット家のものか。
はい。まずあなたのお名前は？
オルステッドだ。
オルステッド。この二人とはお知り合いなんですか？
いや、まだ知り合ってはいない。
まだ？どういう意味でしょう？
お
Yep.
前は知らなくていい。ところで、どこのグレイラット家のものだ。
Yeah, I don't know what the implication is from the eye
パ
thing
ウロ・グレイラット
that we
です。
saw.
パウロに息子はいないはずだ。娘が二人きりのはず。
まあなんと失礼な。いるんですよ。
Unless he knows how the world should be instead of how it
しか
is.
し娘が二人。
Yep.
なんでそんなことを知ってる。
それ以上近づくな。お前、目をそらさないな。
あなたの目つきは怖いので、今にもそらしたいところです。
まあいい。それで何の用だ。
魔力災害のこととかも何かご存知かなと思いまして。
知らん。
そうですか。呼び止めて申し訳ありませんでした。
お前、人神という単語に聞き覚えはあるか。
あります。たまに夢に出てきて。
Yep.
So why would you say that?
そうか。ルーデウス。人神の人だったか。逃げろ、ルーデウス。
Hand to hand, no less.
Yep. Jeez. This is what D&D Monk wishes it could be.
Yeah, 2024 it is.
It's closer.
Well, there's the start of the episode. Sort of.
Bodied. And he does have like the scaling thing on the sides of his face.
The proper impact, because she hit the wall and blood's already coming out of her mouth and everything.
Yep.
Saw it coming, but he didn't know how to react to it.
Yep.
竜神オルステッドは必ずお前を殺す。
Dragon God.
なんでしょう求める愛なるあらい灯火の熱さをファイアボール
God spirit.
Didn't study enough magic.
無影小魔術か。それは人神から得た力か。
Shoving breath back into his lungs.
それはもういい。ディスタブマジック。器用なやつだな。
This isn't gonna end well.
It's basically
for
like
you.
all those times where you see Darth Vader's outfit like fail him and he has to use the Force to keep himself going.
Yeah. Cool visual.
開け全流門。 凄まじい魔力量。まるでラプラス並みだな。
It's a name we haven't heard in forever.
True.
There's the element that he pushed himself back, propped himself up on a rock, and then cast that spell.
Yeah, no, it's impressive.
魔術で肺を治療しない。
Because he can't.
まあいい。死ね。
Oh, Snapple.
ああ、まずいな。死にたくない。
That's why we've covered all this time that he needs at least one word to be able to cast healing magic.
あと2年。
Yep.
2年待ってほしい。そうすれば、俺は心置きなくいけるのに。大丈夫。俺ならできる。ゆっくり魔力を高めるんだ。まだ死ねない。ゆっくり。大丈夫。ゆっくり。
行くぞ七星。
レイゼルドキレーヌおじい様お父様お母様誰でもいい
Yeah, grandfather ain't helping you one way or the other.
'That's for sure.
ごめん。
ねえオルステッド一つ気になったんだけどこいつ
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, it looks like he became a Heartless.
まあなんだ残念だったね
Yeah, that's crazy.
ほんと残念だ。
今日はいつもと調子が違うね大丈夫かい気分は悪くないかい
見ての通り胸に穴が開いてるよ。なあ、一つ聞きたいんだけど、いいか？
なんだい
あのオルステッドってやつはなんでお前の名前を聞いた瞬間に襲いかかってきたんだ？
奴は悪い竜神だからね善良な僕を目の敵にしてるのさ
善良ね。まあ、お前は目の敵にされやすそうだしな。でも
Yes, because the guy who says he's good is always good.
But to be fair, a good guy would also say that he's good.
いやごめん
It's true.
今は竜神に関しては見えないんだ未来も現在も見えない
Also looks like Rudy's losing weight in this form.
だから君が奴と出会うこともわからなかったんだ
Maybe a little bit.
そうなのか？どうして？
Well, because then it would have an overlap with the Full Metal Alchemist thing
呪い。
that we haven't watched in forever.
うん呪い子って言ってね変なのがいるんだよオルステッドもその一人さ ま、彼は他にも3つぐらい呪いを持ってるけどね。
は
ほら、ルイジェルドやエリスが怯えていただろう。あれも呪いの一つだよ。この世のあらゆる生物に嫌悪されるか恐怖される。
みんなに嫌われるのか。そりゃなんていうか嫌だな。
So obviously he knew something was up with you when you didn't fear or hate
俺
him.
はあいつのことを嫌悪も恐怖も
Then it would imply that you're not of this
これは
world.
君が違う世界から来たからじゃないかな。
Exactly.
異世界人は呪いの影響を受けないのか。
ルイジェルドと出会った時もそうだっただろ
ああ、あれちょっと待て。ルイジェルドもその呪い子ってやつなのか。
う。いや、あれは槍の呪いさ。ラプラスは恐怖の呪いを槍に移して、それをスペルト族になすりつけたのさ。
呪いなすりつけた。どういうことだよ。お前
That makes
最初から
sense.
知ってたのか。無駄だって知ってて俺にルイジェルドを助けろとかって言ったのか。
いやいや、勘違いしないでくれよ。
Seems like it's been doing a good
スペルト
job.
族の呪いはもう消えかけているんだ。
Yeah.
ルイジェルド自身にもまだ少し呪いが残っているけど、髪を切ったおかげで急速に薄れつつあるしさ。
なんで。
ラプラスの髪も緑だったからさ。
ふん、呪いってそういうものなのか。俺にはよくわかんねえな。
まあ何にせよ、君に関わったおかげで呪いは消えつつある。まだ根強く差別意識が残っているけど、それも努力次第でどうにかなるさ。
無駄じゃなかったってことか。
Sounds like Man God's a good guy.
それならよかった。
I still don't think so.
それにしてもあのルイジェルドが簡単にやられるとは思わなかった。
あいつはルイジェルドじゃ無理だろうね。
何せ七大列強だもんな。どうやったら勝てたんだ。
勝てないよ。彼はね、最強なんだ。いくつもの呪いで制約を受ける身でありながらね。
最強。でも
He's in weak mode and you still could never beat him.
1位は。
1位は疑心だけど、それでも本気で戦えば勝つのはオルステッドさ。
Then why is he number one?
この世界だって滅ぼせる。まあ、呪
Yeah.
いのせいで本気は出せないんだけどね。
はあ、お前さ、あいつのこと見えないくせにえらくよく知ってんだな。まあいいさ。お前が何を
Like maybe he is technique god.
ルイジェルドのことは好意っぽいし、この間もお前のおかげでリーリャとアイシャを助け出せた。それを鑑みれば多少嘘をつかれたところで気にもならんよ。これで会うのも最後だしな。
最後？
ああ、最後さ。だってそうだろ。俺は死んだんだから。
なるほど。それで自暴自棄になっているのか。最初の時とは真逆だね。
あの時は何が何だかわからないまま死んだと思ったからな。
A lot of awkward postures to be making while naked in front of another dude.
しょうがない。運が悪かった。いや、2回目の人生を送れただけでも幸運だと思わなきゃだよな。いろいろとまだやり残したことはあるが。まあ、うん。そうだな。と、そろそろお別れらしいな。こういう時ってどういう感じでいけばいいんだろうな。
そうかい。じゃあ君に朗報だ。
え？
君、死んでないよ。
え？
Because I don't think we'd be having this conversation if you were actually dead.
Yeah.
ルデウス
Lungs filled with blood.
Indeed, that was a fight.
That wasn't really.
大丈夫。
Everyone got their ass kicked by one guy. It wasn't really a fight.
さっきのあの女がその何か言ってて、あのウルステッドとかいうのが治癒魔術で七星って言われてた。
七星。あの仮面の女のことか。
なんで殺した相手をわざわざ。
大丈夫よ。気絶してるだけだって。
そうですか。
Yeah,
随分と元
Because he thought he lost everything.
なんかね、
everything.
いろんなものが有り余ってる感じがするんですよ。
じゃあ叩いても大丈夫なの？
いいですとも。
Yeah. Big sad.
心配をおかけしました。
本当よ、よかった。本当に。
And still at this point, my mind wanders to which part of the harem does Rudy wind up with? He's got Eris. He's got Roxy's panties. He has Sylphette waiting for him at home.
I think it's obvious.
Lilia,
I think
you're
it's
right.
Eris.
It's pretty obvious.
I think it's Eris.
Based on what?
They've been through too much together.
So is he and Sylphette. Sylphette would still be getting bullied. Sylphette would be getting bullied, not be taught magic, and then be teleported to a strange place without any of that.
Yeah, Rudy and Eris have been through so much more than him and Sylphette.
Well, what about Roxy? Roxy's been through a lot. Just
Yeah, but
trying
not
to find
with Rudy. Like,
Alright, so your gamble is...
Rudy and Eris are actually developing, like, are actually getting to know each other properly and growing as people together.
Alright. So you're gambling on Eris being the harem member that wins.
Correct.
Even though that we know Roxy is actively out looking for him.
Yes.
Well, those are just dreams and reality.
True.
I mean, he does worship Roxy's panties.
Mm-hmm. I still think the choice is obvious.
I don't know why you think it is so obvious, considering you know there's a second season.
Mm-hmm.
And your entire argument is based on the fact that they've traveled for a long time. You got another season, maybe he doesn't travel with Eris, maybe he travels with Sylphette or Roxy in a second season.
Unless they're gonna kill off Eris, then yes.
Oh, so you think it's inconceivable that he would just leave somebody behind?
Based off the interactions that him and Eris have had, I think it's inconceivable that him and Eris would split.
I mean, in the way that he's no longer with Sylphette right now. In the same way
It's
that
true.
Roxy had to leave due to her own stuff.
Correct. But again, that's what I see.
All right.
I do not think they would split those two up if they were both still living.
Hey, at the very least, we got to the character we had an art made of you for, so...
I like the fact that he's... I like his response. Because he is also against the guy that I'm against.
Maybe. I mean, you threw out the idea of maybe he's Technique God, in which case he's not even the person that the guy is against.
Well,
he said, so
again,
you're an apostle of the man God, and then kills him. And then you're like, maybe this guy is actually Technique God, in which case he's not actually the guy that the guy I had you drawn as is against.
Let's see, Man God could be a front for Technique God trying to be able to use his power to get around the curses. Because as has been shown, Rudy is helping lift the curse off of Rujard.
Yeah, but he already said that that curse was fading already, so it was just really helped by Rudy.
But no, it was fading but when he cut his hair off, which was because of Rudy.
I read it the other way, that it was already fading and it was extremely helped by him cutting his hair off.
No, so what happened was he said, okay, so Rudyard is cursed. Yes. And the information he gave was it started to fade when he cut his hair off. You are helping it go away. There is a deep-seated hatred towards him, but that will go away with time and hard work. Rudy is the one who's changing the status quo of the world based off who he interacts with.
Again, I remember the scene differently, so it's just one of these things where it would have to come up again. I guess hindered by the fact that I no longer take notes on this show because the idea is just to watch it with you right now. So,
yeah.
If I was taking notes, then obviously the thing would be I would come back at some point and be like, okay, I went back over, you said this, I said this. This is what they said in the show. Blah, 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 blah.
But yeah, that is a great character introduction, and it very much is a turning point.
Well, they said he has the power to destroy the world.
They said Technique God has the power to destroy the world.
No, they said Orsted has the power to destroy the world. But he can't use it because of his curses.
We are significantly remembering this differently. So what they said...
Here's the thing, Justin. I have watched this 3 times. I watched it once with Griffin. I watched it a second time when I was taking notes, because back then I was taking notes. And now I watched it with you a 3rd time. So, when you're saying I'm remembering it poorly, my default is going to be...
Oh, no.
I've watched it 3 times now.
Don't put words in my mouth.
I said
do that we are remembering this different.
Yes.
I'm not making any claim towards the quality of which is correct or incorrect.
No, you're making a claim of accuracy, not the quality.
But I'm not saying which is accurate. I'm saying I remember it. We remember it with different levels.
You don't have to jump into self-defense mode. I'm not like you
Either
fucker.
Way.
I'm just saying.
Why did you call me a fucker? How dare you?
No, I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm saying that you're calling me. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
It's all good. So what I got from the way it was said was Dragon God's ranked number 2, Technique God is ranked number 1. If they were to fight, Dragon God would win. But the reason why Technique God is ranked number 1 is because if curses were removed, Technique God would have the power to destroy the world.
The only give that I'm going to give you on this is that he just uses the word he, but he also says he couldn't or he wouldn't because the curses prevent him from doing so. And the conversation that we're having at that moment is the fact that Orsted has 3 curses working against him. So transitive property of the conversation.
If we are going off of how I read that conversation, I'm going to throw out that Technique God is using Man God as a front to use Rudy, who has been shown to be able to diminish curses.
No, you said that.
Because he is not of this world, to get rid of his curses so he can use his power and destroy the world.
Because your assumption that he is Technique God and not Man God.
Correct.
Right, which if we were going into season 2, what I would have done was made some sort of pin board, because your theory is so completely different from my thoughts. And typically what we're usually doing is that we have similar thoughts and then veer somewhere off of that. But yours is just you're looking at the world completely differently because we read a scene differently, an exposition scene differently. So we have 2 completely different viewpoints of the world now and what is going to happen or what could happen or who's operating to do what. So
yes, because I think this first season is being used to, one, teach Rudy about himself, the world, in this world, but also introduce the idea that give us the information of what is Rudy doing here. Like, you need to have a why as to what the antagonist appearing. And if Rudy's here to help erode curses on people and places, that gives a reason why the story is happening.
I mean, you said we need a why for why the antagonist is here, which
Sorry,
I think
protag.
I was about to say
and antagonist, but you need a why for each character. That's what I'm saying.
That assumes that Orsted is the antagonist. But when you said that, I was actually thinking, because you were saying that, I was like, well, why is Rudy here? Because I was going on the protagonist route in my own head, even though you had said antagonist. It's like, why is Rudy here? I will say, since I'm not I don't really care about spoilers anymore, but I'm not going to talk about specifics.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat when it comes to Mushoku Tensei as I am with Jujutsu Kaisen, which is to say, as far as I've seen, which is basically halfway through season 2 of both shows, okay. I don't know where things are going. So, those answers, why is Rudy actually here? I don't know. I don't know why he got brought into this world. That sort of thing. The same thing with Jujutsu Kaisen, where the plot has just started kicking off the last thing I saw, so I don't know what's going on there either. So, to the answer of why is the protagonist here, I don't know. Because the story of Rudy in this fantasy world has been more focused on his character development, who he's become, getting over those traumas and everything, and that's what you kind of focus on. But then if you introduce, as you just did, the concept of why was he brought here?
Yes.
Then that motive hasn't been made clear.
So to me, it was just made clear based off that conversation and the fact of how he's helping Rudyard.
Well, for one, I still think you're wrong about the technique god thing. But even then,
that's fine.
I think you're wrong about the technique god thing as a point of motivation, or even the possibility that this guy is faking being man god. But I mean, your point of using Rudy to clear curses has merit, I think. But I'm also thinking that you're wrong about that as the reason. It feels more to me like he's forming a team than it does he's clearing curses of shit. Like, he's gotten Rudyard to a point where he can do a thing. I
think the forming of a team is just... So I think what Rudy is doing is forming a team. I don't think Rudy came here to clear curses. I think whoever Man God is brought Rudy here to use him as a tool. It's kind of, if we relate it to D&D, Man God is the Great Old One patron. Rudy's the warlock.
I want to play the warlock. I can never remember where that comes from. Anyway, no, I mean, my idea here isn't... I know what you're saying, that the dude is telling him to do things, and then Rudy's doing things on his own, which is causing the whole plot to move forward. He's making friends. Man God doesn't actually need friends. But point of view is more along the lines of, you know how Orsted knows how the world should be?
Yep.
He's like, oh, I'm Paul Greyrat's son. Paul Greyrat doesn't have a son. He has 2 daughters. And it's like, how do you know he has 2 daughters? He knows how the world is supposed to be. So, kind of like how Rudy has the eye that can see the future a little bit. He seems to have eyes that can see what the world is supposed to be.
Well,
my brain had a point and it just farted itself out. I can't remember what I was going for here. Oh, no. I was going to say that maybe Man God has a similar thing that he knows how the world is going to be. And that's why he only gives Rudy these vague things and not telling him what to do and when to do it and how it's supposed to happen. He just tells him, go here, don't tell her who you are, because he knows how things are going to play out, and the least amount of information he gives Rudy affects it the least. Right? Butterfly effect, essentially. He tells him where to be and what to not do, and that's all he gives him. So it could be that Man God knows the team that Rudy will make, even if he doesn't tell him to make it.
The final thing. So for me, the reason why I think Dragon God responded the way that he did is because Rudy in this world, I think, is effectively an invasive species.
Well, yeah. He doesn't belong here.
So that's why. So that's why I posit the idea of somebody brought him here for a purpose, and Rudy doesn't know about that purpose yet.
I
think Rudy will save the day by not fulfilling that purpose and going against the person who brought him here.
I will say that is likely, and I'm not saying this with 100% knowledge, but I'm saying it based on stuff that I know.
Yep.
That is probably not correct.
In that case, I think that would, unless they somehow blow minds with the way they do it, I think that would be that is an incredible story to tell.
Okay, I'm gonna pitch this.
Okay.
The reason I think that is based off of something from season 2 that is at the very edge of my knowledge, so it's like hasn't even been fully explored yet. Do you want to know?
Yes.
Nana Hoshi is also from the real world. The girl he's traveling with.
Okay.
She's like Rudy, essentially. Essentially, she's actually from the same truck accident. So, if Rudy not belonging in the world is a reason why he would attack him, it wouldn't make sense that he's also traveling with somebody who's essentially the same. Because I don't remember if I did it with you, but I had this whole thing with Griffin the first time I watched the show about the number of people that were in the car accident and the reason that the fact there was only one survivor. So there, I think, should technically be 3 people from the real world here in this world. And as far as I've gotten, we've only gotten Rudy and that girl.
Is it possible that the guy in the castle from Turning Point Part 1 was from the real world? He just ended up getting here
in the past? That would be an Overlord thing to do. Overlord is the MMO isekai show, but apparently hasn't come up in the show at all. But in the backstory of like the manga and everything, people have been brought from the real world into the Overlord world, but at like 200 to 400 year intervals. So they are always legends. So when the Overlord Kai comes here, there's always existing legends of people from the past that did these incredible things because they've been like him, but they don't exist in the time that he's in. So I mean, it's not unprecedented in the world of isekai. I just wouldn't think so, because the existing thing is already, we have these 2. However, okay, since I'm already spitting it out here, there are also different versions of isekai. He was born into the world. And she was summoned. So he gets resurrected into the new world. She gets summoned into the world. So she's essentially the same person that was in the real world. He got reborn. So there are 2 different versions of isekai going on here. So if it's possible that the third person, if they did get summoned here, again, I have no idea. Or not even summoned, if they got brought here, because again, I have no idea that she is already on the very edge of my knowledge.
Is there a third version of isekai?
I mean, there's plenty of versions. Think of any like Alice in Wonderland or, a kid in King Arthur's court. There's many ways to get brought into a different world.
Fair enough.
None of them are coming to my head right now because I'm just overwhelmed with thinking about all of this, but just the idea that he could have been isekai in any other way. Because these two already got isekai in two completely different ways. She can't use magic. She has literally no magic. The difference between her and Rudeus is that Rudeus got reborn, so he's of the world, essentially. He's a person with, like, whatever you want to call it, magic circuits or whatever, that he can build up magic. She's just a regular one of us. She has no magical ability whatsoever.
So Rudy is effectively of two worlds.
Well, he's got knowledge and memory of the real world. But that doesn't tend to help him do anything. It's actually more of a problem, because all it is his traumas.
So all I'm saying is that's what makes him stand out.
It's more, I mean, literally the only thing that comes of it is he can speak Japanese because he remembers Japanese. That's how they recognize one another. She speaks Japanese at him, and he's able to respond.
Got it.
So, yeah. I mean, this was all just the counterpoint to he's attacking Rudy because Rudy's not of this world. It's like, I don't actually remember why she traveled with him. Orsted.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's like the second half of the second core, or the second half of the first half of the second season, first core, whatever.
Got it.
Right there at the end. Wherever I have to figure out to pick up back from, I can.
But yeah, no, I've got no other thoughts on the episode.
All right. Well, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Justin. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?